Welcome to Sunday Mornings with Enlightenism. I am Brother Malcolm.
And I am Sister Carolyn.
And we are the Enlightenist teachers and philosophers sharing insights about a new way to think and live. This is the other freedom that we're talking about.
Absolutely.
Enlightenism is the other freedom. For those of us who have been in pain all of our lives, it is personal. It's a new way to think and live.
Definitely.
And Sister Carolyn is going to get us started today with some great insights. She's an Enlightenism teacher, practitioner, and workshop facilitator. She shares Enlightenism insights on a new way to think and live. She's doing it from a personal perspective of her own life. Here's Sister Carolyn to share with you some Sunday morning Enlightenism insights. Sister Carolyn.
Thank you so much, Brother Malcolm.
You're quite welcome.
Good morning, everyone. And as Brother Malcolm said, I'm an Enlightenism teacher and consciousness practitioner. And I do this all by personal choice. It was something that in the discovery process of studying metaphysics and working with Brother Malcolm in terms of Enlightenism, that we are here on the air, bringing this broadcast, teaching people how to live without the pain. And that was one of the things that I discovered in my studies. I didn't realize how much pain I had been living with. Just as most people don't recognize the pain that they're living with. They just think, oh, well, this is what happens. It doesn't have to happen. And one of the things that encourages both Brother Malcolm and I is that this is a philosophy. This is a spiritual freedom that we're born with. But along life's journey, we are talked out of it. So our broadcast is to invite you to understand when you're in those moments of lack, limitation, and struggle, that you are not living from the Enlightenism process. And this process was created so that you understand who you are in your life. So when this broadcast is on, it's not so much about what I did with my life, even though I give examples, but it is what you do with your life. What are you bringing into your life? One of the things that I know is that from the system that we are born into lack, limitation, and struggle. We are born not knowing how to trust ourselves, not knowing how to be compassionate, not knowing how to give ourselves the space that we need to grow. That's what this broadcast, Enlightenism, is about. It is about discovering the power and using that power to live by. It is not about the beliefs and values that you were taught by well-meaning others to live in an illusionary world. This is about creating the space to live in the house that you were born in. And in that house, Brother Malcolm and I know that you were born whole, perfect, and complete, faceless, formless, and colorless. And you have everything that you will ever need for the journey. As we do the broadcast, we create or give insights that allow you to open yourself up to you. I invite you always to purchase our book, Enlightenism, that has the 10 principles of Enlightenism within. This is where you began. When you have had enough pain and struggle in your life, and when you want a new way or desire a new way to think and live. And you ask yourself, where can I go? Where do I start? You start with you. You start with understanding that the beliefs and values that we've garnered in our life, and we've kept them nurtured and watered, were beliefs and values that were given to us through the process of living in this illusionary world that teaches you politics, that teaches you religion, that teaches you history, that teaches you all of those things of how you are to live in this society. No one tells you how to live with you. And when you come to that parting of the ways, where you know that there is a new way to think and live, then and only then can you create the space for Enlightenism. Enlightenism is a new way to think and live. Enlightenism is about cutting away those beliefs and values, unlearning that process for living. It's like buying a large house and now having more space than you can live in. You can buy a house that's 6 blocks long and 10 stories high and not sleep in the same room every night. What Enlightenism says is that space with Enlightenism is what allows you to create that space, that freedom within you so that you grow. You grow with compassion. You grow with grace. You grow with understanding that there is enough for everyone. There is no lack, limitation, and struggle unless we bring it into the home that we're building. And one of the things that I know is building this space. I don't have room for lack, limitation, and struggle. And if it happens in my life, then I know what to do. One of the things that Enlightenism begins with, we have 10 principles of Enlightenism. And the first principle says, I acknowledge that I am responsible for the current conditions in my life. When you take responsibility for that, you are not outsourcing it to your parents, to people who were mean to you, to the schools, to racism, to sexism, and to all the other things. We can outsource it and say, oh, we can take care of this with a law. Well, the only laws that we really follow are the laws that we believe in. And if we are so busy believing in things outside of us, we are letting things go inside of us. So the idea of Enlightenism, I invite you to do it every Sunday, is to know what's going on in your house. How big is your house with freedom? How big is your house with compassion? How big is your house with grace? How big is your house with trust? Do you have enough? Do you have enough to give when something occurs that you don't like? Do you run to lack, limitation, and struggle, which is anger and pain and all of the things that keep us from living in the house of Enlightenism? Do we run to the illusionary world for the peace that we want? I would say that you don't. If you believe that you do, then you are living outside of who you are. This broadcast is about giving you the insights so that you stop creating the pain. You stop creating the pain of racism. You stop creating the pain of lack. You stop creating the pain of struggle. You stop creating the pain of there isn't enough to go around. All of those things come from lack, limitation, and struggle. That is how it is summed up. Because if your house is not big enough, your car is not new enough, all of those things come from lack. They come from the illusionary world that gives us the value of who we are. And when we are no longer looking outside of us for peace, for freedom, then and only then do we embrace the spirit of Enlightenism. That power that you were born with. That power that says, I am whole, perfect, and complete, faceless, formless, and colorless, and I have everything that I will ever need for the journey. I thank you so much for allowing me to impart these insights with you. And now it's time for Brother Malcolm, philosopher, speaker, and creator of Enlightenism, Brother Malcolm.
Oh, thank you so much, Sister Carolyn.
Welcome.
I was listening to you so intently that I forgot that I was supposed to be on the program. You had captured my attention.
Thank you.
Captured my attention with Enlightenism, folks. It gets like that sometimes.
It does. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you very much, Sister Carolyn, for getting us started on this wonderful day in sunny California. I'm Brother Malcolm with you today to share some new Enlightenism insights on a new way to think and live. What is pain? Pain is personal. It's your pain, your experiences, how you experience life. What is your interpretation about yourself? What is your interpretation about the greater power of God? What is it? It is your interpretation. It's yours. It's personal. And then you have to ask yourself, how does this power connect to victimization? How does the greater power of God connect to victimization? What does God mean to a slave? What does God mean to someone that is being oppressed or feel that they are oppressed? What does it mean to them personally? Not what someone else has said. I cannot connect myself to Marcus Garvey's pain or Malcolm X or Martin Luther King. It is my pain. It's personal. And so therefore, I'm looking for a way out of the pain to heal myself. But sometimes when the pain, we learn how to incorporate the pain in the living, kind of like an alcoholic. See, the alcoholic learns how to incorporate being an alcoholic into living. Because if not found, they become victimized by the alcohol. And when you become victimized by things outside of you, external beliefs, then you fall prey to thinking of yourself as powerless. But there's a new way out. There's a new way to think and live. This is the other freedom that I am talking to you about, and Sister Carolyn. I'm addressing it to people look like me, that have experiences like me, and other people, all people. But the people that understand what it feels like to be an African American or a black person in this country. What experiences do we have as individuals? Talk about your own experiences. Don't talk about somebody else's experiences. But how do you feel? How do you cope with pain? How do you cope with victimization? Why do you become angry about certain things that are happening in life? What is your interpretation about God for yourself? What have you discovered about it? And how does this power empower you to do something about your life? Why are you falling victim into what the society want you to do? Why are so many people on the right and the left in politics? Why are so many people that look like me have strayed away from their own individual pain and now living with trying to incorporate it into your life? To say that these are the only two options that you have in the world. And I'm talking about politics. I've been on politics for a couple of sessions now. And the reason I'm on politics is because what happens when you lose your own pain and your own identity, then it becomes wrapped up, encapsulated into something that is so broad that you can't identify with it. What about you, the person that's feeling the pain? If you're unemployed, it doesn't mean everyone is unemployed. And it doesn't mean the solution for your unemployment is the same process for someone else. The solution to pain is in the mind. And that's what Enlightenism is about. With Enlightenism, you have the power and clarity to overcome the pain in your life because you can create a new way to think and live by letting go of your beliefs and values. When you talk to younger people today, people that know very little of anything about the experiences of people in the past, they're living in the present. And in the present, they have their own unique pain. See, it's their own unique pain. And now we're trying to connect it, that there's a nexus between their pain and what was happening 100 years ago. And it's not the same, folks. It requires something different. There has to be a different way to think and live in order to get over the pain, to overcome the pain. We need a different way to think and live. We cannot rely upon things in the past. And we cannot say to ourselves, who are we aware of being in our own lives, and then how does that relate to God? Traditions. People have been doing the same thing when you've been doing it for all of your life and previous generations. Then somehow God becomes impersonal. God becomes a concept, something that's been passed on, but not personal. What is your personal understanding about God absent what you have been taught? What do you know? What happens to you when you're in deep pain and you cry out? But people literally cry sometimes, literally because you're in pain. You can cry out in anger, or you can say, I am being totally rejected. God's not paying me any attention because I'm suffering. God is not dealing with the south side of Chicago. Not dealing with South Central Los Angeles and places in the United States. Other places, all the cities in the United States of America, where people are living with pain. And the images that are being projected out to the other people that are not living in those areas is to project this tranquil, successful city and environment. And when you go to these places yourself, then you see something different. Well, when you go within your mind about what power you have, you're going to see something entirely different than what other people have been projecting out to you. It's like a movie. They project out all of the things that look great and the things that you want. What is it that you want? You want the pain to be free. We cannot have a slave mentality, a victim mentality where you think that the only freedom you'll ever have is when you're dead. And for years, we've passed this on from one generation to the next, and we've just modified it. The only way that we're ever going to be free in this country is when we die. And the reward will be to become one with God in heaven. And then we can rest in peace. And if you have any capacity to think, you would know that your body is going to decay. It's going to decompose on this planet because that's what it's supposed to do, and it's going to stay on the planet. Then you will know that consciousness, it does not need rest. So some of the things I'm saying may seem far-reaching because when you embodied something for generations, you don't want to hear. Who wants? If you've ever been around an alcoholic and someone tells the alcoholic you're drunk, the alcoholic will say, "I want to change. I really want to change. I want to change to keep my marriage." Say, "Oh, baby, I'll stop drinking for you, but I won't stop drinking for myself." Then the alcoholic discovers something. I can't stop drinking. I've tried, but I cannot stop drinking. And when you discover You tried to overcome pain, but you cannot overcome pain. Then what do? You seek something different within yourself to overcome the pain, because what you have been doing is not working. It's not working. And what works is a change in the way you think and live. And when you change how you think and live, then you change everything about yourself. You create a new freedom. Enlightenism is the narrow road that leads to the mind. It's not the popular road that everyone is chasing after. It's not the road where every word out of your mouth is about something you know nothing about, which is the past. Change is personal. Pain is personal. Solutions to pain are personal, that the individual must discover for him or herself. And Sister Carolyn and I are talking about and sharing with you our work in Enlightenism in the mind. We work in the mind. We're not following and holding on to the patterns of the past. Nor do we believe that the solution to overcoming pain in your life is coming from the past.
Absolutely.
You cannot. Your pain is different from the Buddhas and the Christ and all of the other people you read about, Moses and all other people if you're Christians.
Right.
Your pain is personal. They weren't living in the inner cities of the United States of America. They were not black. They were not African American. So they don't know that experience. I can talk about my life very well. I can talk about it. I know what it feels. And then I can assume or make assumptions that other people look like me, have their own experiences, and they should be similar because of the collective victimization that's going on in this country. The way out of the pain and suffering is Enlightenism. The way out of victimization is Enlightenism. The way to stop struggling in your life is Enlightenism. And Enlightenism is the greater power within you, existing as consciousness. This is the God. This is my interpretation of the God within me. You may have a different interpretation about the God within you, but you have to ask yourself, will the God within you or the God in the sky take the pain out of your life? Has it worked in your life so that you are now free of the societal beliefs that have locked you into politics as being the only solution for your freedom or death? Thank you for stopping by.
Thank you.
I'm Brother Malcolm.
I'm Sister Carolyn.
And we welcome you anytime to join us to talk about
a new way to think and live with
Enlightenism. Have a great day, folks.